And there you can see that the terminal, it just says that the session. Wow, wonderful. It seems that I'm getting the target's WhatsApp session. Let's see. Hello everybody, this is Irfan from ehacking.net, and today I will demonstrate the QR code vulnerability that could let an attacker hack any service or application that depends on the QR authentication, such as WhatsApp. WhatsApp supports QR authentication. This means you can scan the QR code to access your WhatsApp account from any other device, such as your laptop, your desktop computer, etc. and etc. And this is a decent feature, but it's dangerous as well. And the vulnerability is called QRL jacking. So this is the vulnerability, QRL jacking. I suggest you should read the entire authentication process. I'm quickly jumping to the vulnerability and its exploitation. So let's get down. This is some research paper, and this is the concept of the QRL jacking attack, and this is the QRL jacking attack flow. So the attack flow is pretty simple. The attacker creates a phishing page that contains the QR session initialization. The second stage is to send the carefully crafted phishing page to the target, and once the target scans the QR code, the attacker gets the session. Now, there are three main implications, such as account hijacking, information disclosure, callback, data manipulation. So, account hijacking means the attacker get complete control of the WhatsApp account, and information disclosure, upon scanning a QR code, the user gives tons of valuable information to the target, such as GPS details, device details, and others. The third is the callback data manipulation. The attacker might utilize the target's details to interact with the services and applications. I mean, in the future. It is equal to the reply attack in the man in the middle attack concept context. Sorry. All right. Now let's move further. And so the question is, why the user will scan the code? So there are several attack vectors that come into play in this particular scenario. The first attack vector is the social engineering technique, which we will use today. In real life, what happens? The attacker plays with the human psyche and convinces the target to scan the QR in exchange for an offer or for an incentive. Now, the other one is to hack the highly trusted websites and applications and services such as the WhatsApp and etc. While there are other attack vectors as well, such as sniffing the LAN environment, insecure traffic over LAN, and others as well. Anyway, enough of talking. Let's see this particular thing is in action. But before that, a quick disclaimer. This video is for educational and training purposes only. Test the vulnerability in your lab environment. Do not harm anyone. The tool is called the QRL Jacker, which is the QRL jacking exploitation framework. I'm using Kali Linux. You can use Ubuntu, Parrot, and even Mac, but not Windows, because this particular tool is not working on the Windows platform. Also, you should have the Python 3.7 plus installed in your computer. I suggest updating and upgrading your operating system to get all the recent applications. All right, moving further, let's open a terminal. First of all, let me check my Python versions to be on the same side. So it should be version, right? Okay, so 3.9.8, which is 3.7 plus. I'm good to go. You should also do this exercise in your computer. So the next step, according to this page, is to set up the what to set up is to set up the Gecko driver. So I need to set up the Gecko driver, which of course I can download from the official website, and after downloading I need to extract it. So for example, let me go there. Okay, so scroll down. This is the latest one, and my operating system is 64-bit, so I'm going to download this one. Let me zoom so that you can see clearly. So there you can see that I'm going to download the 64-bit version here, and after that I will locate my directory, and there you can see that. Let me get into my downloads directory. So there you can see that I have downloaded the latest one here. What I need to do, I need to unzip it. Let's use tar to unzip it. You will get all the commands in the description of the video, so don't worry about it. So tar, and let's just unzip it. It's done. So there you can see that I have unzipped this particular file. Now the next step is to adjust the permission and make it executable, which is pretty simple. Or otherwise I'm just going to copy the commands and I'm gonna paste it here. Pretty simple thing. Let me clear the screen. The other three commands here suggest or instructs to move the Gecko driver into the appropriate location. So I'm just going to copy all three and execute it once at once, or one by one. It depends on you. So let me just do this quickly. Although I'm logged in as a root, oops, sorry, what happened? It's already exists. Okay, sounds good. I think I have done it before. No, so I was saying that although I'm currently logged in as a root, however I'm still executing the sudo. It's very good to do this. It's a good practice, and I also suggest that you should also logged in by using the root account rather than a standard account. Otherwise, you will face some challenges and problem. So I've already done it. That's why it's showing me this one. Now let's just clone this particular tool from the GitHub by using this command. Let me clear this. Or I think I also have it. Okay, yeah, QRL jacking, I have it. But of course you need to execute this git clone command to download this particular tool. So after that, once you are done with this, you should get into the downloaded file, which is, I think, yep, checking. Okay, now let's just cross check. There is another directory inside it. Let's get into this one. Okay, now let's check it. So there you can see that I have the requirement file, which I believe, yes, I need to install it. Let's just do that again. So there you can see that, let me zoom out so that you can see properly. There you can see that it has done everything, requirements satisfied already. One thing, that if you have several versions of Python installed in your computer, then I suggest you should use force switch here to forcefully install all the prerequisite that requires on this software. So let me just clean the screen. And okay, now let's just cross check. I need to execute Python 3 qrljacker.py script. All right, let me just execute this one. Oops, sorry, what I did. Yeah, it's perfectly working fine. That's good. That's good. So this particular tool, as discussed in that page, that it can do so many things. But let's stick to our objective, and that is WhatsApp. So if you simply, I think, let's check the list, and you can see the modules. Uh, of course, I'm interested in the WhatsApp at the moment. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use that particular tool, and to use it, if I'm not mistaken, I just need to type the module name here. Is not recognized. Okay, so how do I use it? Let me check. I think this, I heard that this particular tool is pretty similar to the Metasploit. That's why I'm going to use this command. Oh yeah, it's working fine. And as I said, that it's very similar to the Metasploit. That's why I'm using this command as well. Options, to list down all the options. All right, so there are three things to do. First of all, you need to set the port number. Secondly, you need to also set the host IP and the user agent as well. Let's keep the default user agent. You can specify a custom user agent as well if you want, but for this particular port, use any random port. Let's say 4446 or any other port. Okay, port 4446. Okay, I don't know how to set it. Let's set. Yeah, good. Now let's cross check. So pretty similar to the Metasploit. Amazing. All right, so for now, let's keep that host default as well. We will test it in the LAN or local network first, and then I will show you the steps to do this in the WAN or over the internet. To run this, simply type run to execute that one. It's working. Perfect. So it started already. Now, so the URL that needs to be sent to your target is, of course, your host IP with this particular port. And once the target scans the QR code via WhatsApp or by using any other app, but for this tutorial we are focusing on the WhatsApp, we will get the session. Now let's do this in the browser. If I type 0.0446, and I can see this particular page. Of course you'll have to do a lot of thing to if you want to make your a phishing page a very genuine one, but for this demonstration let me scan this particular QR code. Okay, so there you can see that I'm going to scan my QR code, and it's working there. And there you can see that the terminal, it just says that the session. So got session on WhatsApp modules, session saved successfully. Perfectly fine. Wow, wonderful. It seems that I'm getting the target's WhatsApp session. Let's see how many WhatsApp sessions do I have. So if I type sessions, since this particular tool is very similar to the Metasploit, so I have currently 3 sessions. Of course, I did some test before. So 0 and 1 was the profile, and number 2 is the recent one. Well, to interact with the session, what you can do, you can simply type the sessions ID. So if I want to interact with session number 2, I'm gonna type sessions and 2. Okay, oops, sorry, I need to say interact session 2. It started starting a interaction with the session number 2. Let's see what's going to happen. Excellent, now it's working. It is starting the session, which means that I will get access. So there you can see in the terminal it's starting the session. Pretty slow, but I think it's working fine. Wow, it's simply wow. I can access the target's WhatsApp account now, and it's been done successfully. But what other what about the other things? There are many things can be done. Of course, you can develop a more genuine and exciting phishing page to convince the users, and it can also be done in a WAN setting or over the internet or outside your local network. What I will do now, let's see this particular page. All right, and it instruct that if you want to edit that particular page, you can do this. You need to edit this file, a basic HTML file. You can put your source code, you can do styling and everything. So if you really want to do this in the real world, you need to make a genuine looking page. So let's see. I will do some basic amendment in the text of that page. You can use basic HTML to do all these things. And additionally, I will also use the port map to access this page outside the LAN environment. So what I suggest you go to the portmap.io and register a account for free. And after that, you will be able to do all these things that I'm just going to show you. So first thing first, let's get into the downloads and let's amend the phishing page. Downloads, QRL jacking, QRL jacker, core, template, and this is the page. So if you know the basic HTML, you can do a lot of things. Similarly, I'm going to change basic text here. Let me just do it, and then I'll show you. So I did this basic amendment. If you want to check, then it says that scan the code to win the free iPhone 13 Pro Max. Scan this QR code using your WhatsApp to get into the draw and blah 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 blah. All right, scan me. So there is no code because I've just executed this particular page, or I've just opened it in this particular browser. But if I do the exercise again, of course you will see the code as well. So let's do the exercise again, but with the help of port map, which means that if I use the port map, I'm gonna access this particular page hosted in my local machine over the internet. So let me just log in first. I have discussed this port map in my so many videos before, What it does, it basically connects your local machine to the its server via VPN, which means that your local machine becomes the part of their server, and your local machine will now be able to accessible from anywhere in the world. So to do this, you just need to create a basic account. If you are a premium user, then it's perfect. Otherwise, you can use this free account as well. So just give it a name. Let's say any names or any name, anything, anything, and OpenVPN, UDP protocol. I think TCP is more reliable. So generate your VPN configuration, and after that, once it's done, you need to download your configuration file. So download your configuration file, just save it, and for the time being, you should also copy this command to execute in a terminal. All right. Meanwhile, it's leave it like that. Let me just clear it if it works. Oops, close. No, I mean clear. Anyway, it's not working. Oh, it's working. So what I did, oh, okay, so I just downloaded, and let me bring my terminal here. Let me zoom it. Okay, just check the IP if config here to cross check your IP address. The current IP is Ethernet 0, which is the interface that I have at the moment, and this is the loop address. Now, when I connect to the port map server, I will get another IP address. I'll show you in a moment. So get into the directory. Okay, and let's ls. So there you can see this is the configuration file that I need to do, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to execute it, but with sudo command. Okay, so initialization sequence completed, which means that my computer is now the part of the VPN server, or I must say that my computer established a secure tunnel, and it is connected with the remote server, which I can validate if I want, if config. So there you can see that the tunnel 0 established, and my tunnel IP is 10.9.229.162, which means that whenever someone or somebody access or try to access that remote server, this somebody can access to my local machine as well. But of course, to do this, I need to adjust some rules, which I'm just going to do. Let me just close this WhatsApp first, and I will do that exercise again. So I'll go to the mapping rule. Let me just close this window as well, this window as well. So this is the mapping rule. I need to create a new mapping rule. In this new mapping rule, of course, this protocol that I'm interested in using is the HTTP or either HTTPS. But since this is a free account, I won't be able to use HTTPS. However, if you are using a premium account, then HTTPS makes sense. So for free account, HTTP. And what does it means whenever somebody or someone access or hit this particular URL on the browser throughout the internet? I mean, it doesn't matter if that somebody is in your local network, or if that somebody resides in some other part of the world. If they hit this particular URL on this port, the user will eventually be redirected to my local machine on this port number. So we need to be very extra careful here. And I mean, to do this, what I'm going to do to be on the safe side, what I suggest is to use the same port, and just say create the rule. All right, so the rule is here, and here what you need to do, let's check the options first. So in that option, we need to amend the port number. So for example, set port, and use the same port number that I have used here. So let me just copy this port number, and let's just paste it here. All right, so to further understand it, what does it mean when somebody is going to hit this URL on the internet? The user will eventually be redirected to my local machine on this port number, so the same port number. So don't need to worry about it now. All seems good. Don't you do not need to change the host URL as well, so don't do that. Simply run the program, and once it is started, we can test our WAN setting as well. So there you can see that the module started running. Now I can go there, and I can use this URL with that port number, and it should open my page, phishing page. Oh yeah, so there you can see scan the code to win free iPhone 13 Pro Max. So if you are conducting a security assessment in your organization and you want to test the security awareness of the people working in your company, then you can of course do more things, such as you can host this particular a url in your company's a domain or website or server. Similarly, you can do or you can use link shorteners such as bitly to mask this particular url. You can do a lot of things, just imagine. So it depends on the objective. So I suggest you include this type of assessment in your security assessment in your organization, and do conduct and test the awareness of the people. And after that, you should have a security awareness session and train your employees that they should not scan any random QR code on the internet. Anyway, just to test it again, let's just scan this again, and I'm scanning now. Okay, so there you can see that got session on WhatsApp module, session saved successfully. Okay, now if I want to check, I can check these sessions, and there you can see that the session 4 is started. All right, and let me just interact with this one, sessions dash I. Let me just clean it so that you can see properly. Sessions dash I, which means interaction, and 4 is the ID. So it is starting interaction. It takes some time, but it pop-ups the WhatsApp window on the browser. So there you can see that the window just popped up, and it started working. WhatsApp web is happening here, and there you can see it's loading. Wonderful. So that is it. That is it. I got the access again. So what we did in this video, I have explained the QRL jacking attack flow, the vulnerability as well, and I have demonstrated the QRL jacking exploitation framework, how to set up it in your machine, the prerequisite, the installation, the configuration, and we have also discussed how to conduct security awareness over the internet rather than doing it within the LAN environment. All right, so sky's the limit. You can do a lot more things if you want. So just install it and practice it in your environment. And do let me know in case of any question and comment in the comment box down below. And do not forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Talk soon. Take care. Bye bye.